It's the SawCast where we speak that real shit on real topics every day. And I go by the name of Stevo.
And I'm Ariel. What the fuck you do, y'all? Turn the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
We back.
We back.
Another
In
one.
effect. In another
Brushing
one.
your head.
You know what I'm
this
saying?
bread.
So this podcast, me and Steven really wanted to let y'all get to know us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing a podcast since like 2018, but at the end of the day, off and on. But we trying to be consistent now. So like we have like a lot of new viewers and stuff like that. So we want you guys to get to know us and figure out
personal feel.
Right. A lot of people will be asking us, what is this SawCast? What do y'all do? Like, what's the point? You know, so we want to go ahead and like have a little podcast real quick to tell y'all who we are, what we care about, stuff like that. So yeah,
like where we even started from, the type of like genesis of us, and like you know what I'm saying, what we trying to do with this motherfucker, what message we trying to push, what's the image and things of that nature.
Yeah. So one of the biggest questions we always get asked is, what is the podcast? Like, what is the SawCast? And so what I would say is the SawCast is a podcast where we're trying to inform people on topics in politics and financial literacy, just anything positive, and a lot of taboo topics in the Black community. We also want to highlight that and highlight real people, Black people in general. We really like highlight Black people, but that's like doing things that's positive in their community, so that people who see themselves in those people can reach out to those people and connect. So like we want to be a connection point for people. I know me and Steven in general are people who bring people together and resourceful people in general. And so that's the type of thing we want for the SawCast. We want it to be a resource for our users and something where, you know what I'm saying, while you're doing productive things in your life, something that you can watch and listen to while you're doing that. So what you think, Steven? What you think the SawCast is?
It's a reminder, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like being a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, right? You can complain about a lot of things, but are you changing them? So I know one of my purposes for sure out here is to change the mindset of the people, right? People that look similar to me, but also people that can relate and resonate with my message. So, because you have people that you tap in with on the same ideal level, but you have people that you tap in with just because you have obvious similarities, right? So, I can speak more to my people because I know more about my people, but it doesn't mean I can't relate to all people.
Right.
So I have friends of all gender shades, creeds, nationalities, and so but I can speak in depth more so about what I related to as a man that's Black, that identifies as Black from a certain background. You know, my people wasn't financially literate. You know what I'm saying? We had to learn a lot of things about finances on our own. And there's certain environments that we was raised up in to where certain people cared about certain things that were irrelevant when you really thought about it. You know what I'm saying? Assets is what matters most, not things, not stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we just here to promote the positive image, the positive message, but throw a little entertainment and a little real there at the same time, because I feel like people try to box you in a lot.
Yeah,
right?
like a lot of people was like, what do y'all talk about specifically? And I'm like, it's not like our topics vary from week to week. Like when you watch the SawCast, you're not gonna see like I know there's some mystery, like there's some psychological podcast, or there's a podcast that talks about current events. Like it's more so whatever resources we feel like we got. You know what I'm saying? If we meet somebody and we feel like they're a valuable resource, we want to share, and so that other people around us in our community, and that's what we're trying to build with the SawCast. The SawCast community can have those type of resources that's out here, and especially with somebody that look like you and talk like you and understands things the way you do. And then also, like, a lot of the topics that we talk about, some of them taboo that we don't talk about in the Black community, just to show people in our community that even though you think like this, even though you want something like that, that's other people out here that's successful and Black that think the exact same way that you do. So there's nothing wrong with you, and give you somebody that if you want to reach out to them, you can. Like everybody on that come on the SawCast understands that, or just in general, they always give their contact information and stuff like that. So you can always reach out to people and you can see that they cool people, because you might see people on social media or you might see them in passing, but you might not know what type of person they are for real. And so the SawCast will sheds lights on that for people as well. The way we started our podcast was the way that Black people started podcasts. We always just around talking. We was having this fire conversation, and then we was like, let's start a podcast after that. And at first we was just yapping about shit.
We got to tell them where the Saw came from.
So yeah,
understand the Saw.
Everybody always asks us what SawCast means. SawCast is an acronym for Steven, Aerial, and Wayne. Wayne, and y'all never seen Wayne no more. He's our cousin. He basically like our brother. We grew up together, and he was on a podcast at first. But Wayne,
and he'll be back on. We're gonna get him on a guest episode.
Wayne, he probably watching this. He just do what the fuck he want to do. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? His mind wasn't in the game, and I mean his head wasn't in the game to do the podcast, especially being consistent. And we knew an issue with our podcast was that we wasn't consistent. So we was ready to be consistent. He wasn't, and I'll give him this. Wayne is probably like 4 years younger than me, 2 years younger than Steven. So he's 2 years behind where we was at mentally, and so we was outside at his age when we started the podcast. So, like, we wouldn't have been doing this shit either. So, it's like, I can't even blame the nigga. Like, we wouldn't have been sitting down doing no shit like that. Plus, it took us a long time for us to even get super consistent. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not even fault my cousin for that. It's more so, like, it was just, he just had a lot of shit going on in his life. He just couldn't commit to it. So, we just took it and it was like, we gonna go from here. We let him know we was cool with it.
That it was.
But Saw means Steven, Aerial, Wayne. That's what that means.
I think what it was is what, we say SawCast, so it's like family cast, right?
Oh, wait a minute, wait.
Because when people get on here, it's like family. What's up?
True. I would say that too. But the logo also has
hear no evil.
Yeah.
Every bear has a meaning.
Yeah, hear no evil, speak no evil, and see no evil. Now Steven thinks that he was the middle one. That's not him.
I'm speak no evil.
He's not speak no evil. I'm speak no evil. I thought I was speak no evil.
No, I'm speak no evil.
I thought you was. Anyways, those three was supposed to be us, and then I might post this like on our page, like before and after our logo. But I had made a logo like this, but it was like nothing as good as this. But we always knew we wanted to go to the panda thing, and pandas is not like something that people are using right now or was using back then. And at that time, when we had first started the cast, I was in grad school to get my MBA, so I was thinking about shit like that. And so when nobody really knowing the panda, so I was like, okay, we the first person. We been had this for a long time. This is us. This is our brand. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody take that because we've been doing this shit for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So really it's about to be 7 now. But anyways, but yeah, so we had the logo like that. SawCast. We wanted our brand is like black, white, and red. We love these colors. They're easy to wear, work with, you know what I'm saying? And we also we had one of Steven's brothers, Q brothers, do our logo for us. To shout out to him. And shout out to my dog. Yeah, the pandas was me, Wayne, and Steven.
Go to the bros.
Like I said, it was a play on speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. And you know what I'm saying? To me, we always knew that the podcast, at first when we started, it was just audio, but we always knew that it was gonna be visual. So that's a play on our logo as well. There's a C here and there's a speak, and that's our whole entirety of the podcast, and so that's integrated into our logo as well. So
absolutely,
that is where the SawCast came from. Steven, Aerial, and Wayne.
For sure.
Shout out to Wayne. Hey, that's our name.
Shout out to Wayne.
So yeah, introduce ourselves. We already did that, but I'm Aerial. I'm 31 right now. I am an IT person. I have a bachelor's in information technology from IU, Indiana University. I have an MBA from IU, Indiana University, Kelly University. The MBA program I did, cause I got to stunt. The MBA program I did was a program where, first of all, Kelly's a hard school to get into in general, but it was a program you had to be a manager while you was going through the program. And so I was a manager while I was doing my MBA, and it's a 2-year MBA program. You cannot do that shit in one. You know, some master's programs is a year. A lot of my friends did that year master's program. Shout out to them. I didn't have that privilege. My shit was 2 years, so I was grinding for 2 years. So it was either you wanted that shit or you didn't want that shit. And you could not come into this program as nothing other than a professional. You know, some schools is like they don't really give a fuck what you doing outside of the school. Mine was like you got to be a manager. You know what I'm saying? And it has to be. They called the my job, everything, verify all that shit. I know people be like, you could just say I could just say I was XYZ and then I can get here. That's like I've never been in that position in my life where I could just say I'm this and that, and like the jobs and the money and the organizations and stuff I participate in, they make sure that you straight before you can get in it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get into shit. Cause to me, I put value on that, you know?
Okay.
So, I have a master's in business and I have an IT. So in my work life, I'm an analyst. What I do basically is teach people. So my clients will have they'll buy some apps or something like that, but they don't know to what extent that app can do and how powerful it is. And so if they're doing some things by hand on paper or something like that, I show them how to, or I put their processes and stuff like that into the app. And then I make it easier for them to do their jobs, and I maintain it while they're doing it. So like if something breaks, then I'll fix it. If they need something extra, I'll add it. I do reporting for people. Of course I do support, but it's escalation support. I don't do lower level support. I do escalation only. And yeah, I've been an analyst for like 12 years. Well, I always say 12 years. I started in 2012. It's 2025 now, so like 13. But like I started when I was in college. I'll say that's one thing for IT people. If you're in college, start in college.
For sure. That
I never had a problem. When I got
out
out of college, I had a job and I was a manager. When I got out of college, I'm not a manager no more. I don't want to be a manager no more. That we can go into that different podcast. But yeah, I've been being an analyst in a capacity for about 13 years now, and I love my job to a certain extent. But I'll say that jobs come with people, corporate that you don't necessarily fuck with. But that's not, to me, all the books, when we on the book podcast, that's helped me deal with that. Like, who cares about this? It's not that serious. Like, don't take corporate serious. That's what I learned. So yeah, that's what I do. And I'm single. I don't have kids. I don't have pets. I had a dog when I first went to.
And then gave the dog away. That's crazy.
Yeah, and my mom
adopted the dog.
No, she didn't adopt him. She took him. So I had him over there with her because I was traveling a lot, and my cousins used to watch him, but I was like, I felt bad because they did used to watch him when I was in Charlotte, but I didn't want them having to watch my dog for me all the time. So but our cousin's son loved Lucky. He loves him. But anyways, my mom ended up, I was like, Mom, can you watch Lucky? And then she's like, yeah. And then I tried to come back and get my dog, and she wouldn't let me have him back. So, and I think it's because my mom is a empty nester now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that, and then I'm 31. I'm Steven's big sister. We got 2 younger sisters that are 20. They're in college.
Yeah.
My mom raised us as single mom, and my dad was always there though. He was just, he was there. He's in the background, but my mom is like the primary parent, and she did the most for us. I'll say that. So we'll give her that. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. What about you, Stevo? Tell me about you, Stevos.
I tell people this all the time. It's around February, so
it's Stevo season.
I was born on Lover's Lane, but I spent some time in the Himalayas.
What?
But at the same
What the?
time, I am an IT professional as well, but I'm more of a in a general support role. I like to just kick back and chill when I'm at work sometimes for the majority. Um, I done some management, but that was when I was in property restoration, when I was like a supervisor, overseer of laborers and things of that nature. So, um, I worked for a company called Belfour, and then like we were one of the most profitable in the nation.
The?
So, huh?
Probably the.
We was one, not one of the most
Okay.
profitable in the nation. So then, like when we would go out, we would kind of like supervise other people on like national jobs.
Okay.
So they had national
How'd you start working at
disasters.
Belfort?
I started working at Belfour by my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Your dad
I
and
and my grandfather. My grandfather, they both kind of vouched for me in a sense, and they was like,
he's lucky. He's like our grandpa like passed. Unfortunately, he was like a real big
right,
component in our family,
yeah, on our mother's
and
side,
and
for
and
sure.
a big reason why we're like financially literate. I ain't gonna lie. He put us toward that on that track.
He
But
made us pay
Steven
more attention to
Steven
finances for
is like
sure.
the only grandkid that actually got to work with him. So he was the only one who
Like
was with him every
personally,
single day.
I got to actually work with him like with his
Like he
nine
got
to
to be with him
five.
when he made money.
Yeah.
Like that's a flex.
And then like I got to be with him when he made money on and off the clock
I'm telling
because
you.
it would be like when we was off the clock, it's different coming through and seeing him when he's off the clock and he's working when you get there. But when you're a part of him being off the clock, which means that you know he got this job based off of the connections and the work that he did at the 9 to 5, right? So he's at the 9 to 5 and the work that he got to do there, he would get a job from there, right? But see, the thing is who's on your mind when you at work? Your grandson. Your grandson on your mind when you at work and you get a side job. So you finna tell grandson because you been working with his dad for so long. Now grandson working with you. And you like, grandson, let's get this money. We finna do some shit that I be doing at work anyway. Oh yeah, we finna do some shit that you do at work anyway, and I'm finna cut you in. You finna cut me in on the deal, so I get to hang out with my granddad and make some money. You know what I'm saying? That's a different
He was
aspect
fun too.
because it's like you can take a break and then like I will say like yes, dad did teach as well, but with granddad being older, he knew a little bit more about finances and things of that nature. So he definitely helped me like realize like, you know what I'm saying, um, you gotta stay working, right? You gotta stay working. You gotta consistently be providing. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that he instilled in me. Consistently be providing, consistently be working. But one thing dad always told me that always stuck with me was every time you get paid, make sure you do something special for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times we can get tied in, especially as men being providers, providing for families, sometimes just providing for yourself and paying bills. And sometimes you forget to do something special for yourself. So that always let me know that. And then they both just instilled that hard working mentality in me. That's why, um, okay, another thing that I do right now
Oh, you
currently,
didn't say age and stuff like that.
huh?
Age.
Age what?
How old are you?
Oh, I'm finna be thriving 30
You're finna
and
be.
yeah, I'm finna be thriving 30. You know what I'm saying? So 30, probably by the time this bitch come out, I'm gonna be
You'll
30.
be
So
30, yeah.
I'm gonna be a thriving 30 in this whole, you know. So that motherfucker do let you sit back and realize like, you know, some realizations about life. Like, damn, like every second is important, really. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
it's a lot of things about you that I feel like you're not talking about. Like,
What you saying?
you're a Q.
What you saying?
Like,
I
tell
can't
them
even get
about
to
what
that.
type of
I
Q
can't
you
even get to
are.
that. I can't even let me get to that. Like we just hit the job.
Well,
We just hit the job
we kind
though.
of on time.
We just hit the
Go
job.
ahead.
We just hit the job.
I did have to plug you on the flex how you got to work with Granddaddy. That
That's
was a
what I'm
flex.
just saying. You diverted me. Let me get back. I'm trying to get
But
back
I
to
don't want you to go too far on that because you know you gonna go too far.
No, I'm not. You gotta let me get to
Go
it.
ahead, bro.
I was reeling them back in.
I can tell we siblings probably.
But
Go
like
ahead.
I was saying, cause I'm trying to reel it back in. Goddamn. Like I was saying, man. Shit, yeah, man. And so, like, as far as the work goes, you know, that's the work. And then for a second job, I just got kind of a little methodical, a little going with the flow. So I just picked up a second gig at a warehouse and whatever like that. But in a minute, that motherfucker finna be part time because shit. But like I was saying, but back to describing me. Also, well, I'm a Q. I'm at this point, I done been in the frat for about like 8 years or so. Fall 16 was it 2025? 8 years, 9 years, something like that.
Wow.
2025 about
That's
9 years, almost
crazy.
9 years this year.
Wow,
I've been in the
that's
frat, but I
awesome.
will tell y'all this, man. I'm not super Greeky, bro. So don't come at me like that, bro. I'm not super Greeky, bro. I ain't never been a super Greeky ass motherfucker, bro. So y'all can't miss me with all that super duper Greeky ass shit. I'm not super duper Greeky. I never have been. I
This
always
is
been
coming from a nigga
me.
who got
Always been
cute
me.
tattooed.
Always been me. Always gonna do me. And I fuck with the frat though. Shout out to the bros. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Tell them about what type of Q you are, bro.
What you mean?
What type of Q are you?
What the ace? What we saying? What type of
Like,
Q?
wasn't you the number one on your line or some shit?
Ace.
You know, we don't know what that is.
That's
we,
the ace.
regular
People do know what that is.
I'm not Greek. So
People
I'm
do know
regular.
what that is.
Okay.
People do know that
That means you
what
the top.
the ace is. No, that just means you was the first one.
Oh,
That
okay.
means you got enthusiasm. You know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying? Enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know nothing.
That's just it. You just got a little E to that
Okay.
motherfucker. But
What else, bro? Wasn't
yeah.
you like the president at one point of your?
I mean, I was a president when I was on the yard, but I mean,
I'm talking about. Wasn't you like
president on the yard? That's it.
Like he was
I was the president
y'all
on the
in
yard.
college. Steven was like throwing events and like he was just a different type.
That
of
kind of
dude.
comes with it though. If you're gonna be the president, you gotta throw events. You gotta throw
Like
community
he was
service,
the president of his
things of that
of
nature.
his-
I'm a mental health advocate. You
of
know what
the
I'm saying? I
Qs
be
at
investing
ISU.
as well. So yeah,
Steven has an
for
IT
sure. That's me in
degree
the
too
synopsis.
from
IT
ISU.
degree, Indiana State University. For sure. That's the synopsis
4
right
year
there.
degree. Yeah,
Synopsis.
you did that.
Quick synopsis.
Yeah, I was just saying. I was trying to flex for you because you really did a lot of shit. Like at the end of the day, like I remember when we was going to college. Like I went to Indiana University. Like that's the biggest best school in Indiana. I think it is.
Hey, we'll
Steven
carry your pride.
Steven went to Indiana State University. I went to Indiana University.
I went to Turn Up
He
University.
wanted to make. He did. He wanted to make. He went.
Make
His
my
school's
own name.
blacker. His school's
I wanted
blacker.
to make my own. Nah, it wasn't.
ISU is blacker.
It wasn't. It just y'all was bigger, so y'all didn't. So y'all felt like it wasn't.
ISU felt hooder.
That's only because
Y'all got more people from Chicago there. Like I had Chicago
we
people
definitely
there.
had more Chicago
You had
people
more
there. Gary
people from Maryville there.
The region in Chicago was
Y'all had more
definitely
people
in
from Fort
there.
Wayne there.
The region in Chicago.
I'm
we
saying
definitely had more people.
Gary.
The
We
region
had a
in
lot of
Chicago.
like South Bend and
Y'all did. Y'all had that over there.
right.
They had that
it
over
wasn't a
there
lot
people.
of Chicago people.
Nah, not as many Chicago and Gary
Like,
people.
and
for
then
sure.
a lot of people like suburban kids, Buff kids, Carmel
for sure,
kids.
for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we had like in college a group of us,
Orange North and shit.
a
Y'all
group of
definitely
us
had
who
them.
was
Who was LC and IPS and
who
that
we
was
called
it.
who we called the individuals.
Okay.
We call us the individuals.
Everybody gang
We was
gang.
just
Everybody
so
gang
how it's a
gang.
group of black people at
Everybody
RU,
gang,
just all
gang.
stuck together.
Everybody's gang
My
gang.
dogs, I
Clearly,
fuck with y'all. Shout out to y'all.
the individuals.
This dude, but like I said, back to Steven, like, you know, I just had to put on a flex. Steven did get to work, granddaddy. He was the president of the Qs, and this nigga was like so like he was doing so many things. It's like a lot of things I be forgetting he knows already. You know what I'm saying? Because you was doing it for your organization, and a lot of the events Steven was having was real popular and real big.
Yeah, we had one that was crazy. Our bar crawl was ridiculous.
Oh my God!
Bar
I hear
crawl
about
that
that
we
still
made
to
was
this day.
stupid.
I
That
hear
bitch
about
was
it.
stupid. Hey, if you missed out on that Indiana State bar crawl, I think it was like 2017 and 2018. That motherfucker was ridiculous.
So yeah, me and Steven packed up and moved to Dallas. Was it October 2022?
October 2022. Yep. October 2022.
And the reason why we picked Dallas, actually, I had moved when I was 21 to Charlotte because I had got a offered a management position while I I was an intern. I was an analyst intern, and they was like, "Oh no, you need to be a manager." So they was like, "Here's a manager position in Charlotte. You gonna move?" I was like, "Yeah, deuces, I'm gone." So I went to Charlotte. So I loved Charlotte. I was there for 2 years,
Facts.
and then I left Charlotte and came back and went back to Indiana because me and Steve, we didn't even say that we from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah.
NAP. We're from the
NAP,
east side.
317,
We're
far.
from the east side of
far.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Far.
We're from the far. We are not from the regular part of the east side. We're from the far.
The far.
Yeah. So
I still jig to this day.
that's a must.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like majority of the culture in Indianapolis came from either the far or from Hallville. Probably, really. I mean,
the far,
like the culture. Yeah,
the,
like
the,
jigging
the,
and all that shit.
All of that, the shit that's still
The
relevant.
songs, the
The
music.
shit is still relevant to the foundation,
It's kinda east side.
to the cultural significance as far as music.
I'm saying
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so we picked Dallas because like I said, I was talking about Charlotte, but I had went to Charlotte and came back, but we was going to. I was like, it was some shit going on in our family, and I was just like, I don't like the way motherfuckers is moving. I'm finna move. Like, first of all, I didn't want to stay in that anyways. I moved back to get my master's, and I was like, I'm really about to leave. But then shit started. I got another job and all that stuff. But I was like, fuck it, I'm ready to go. So me and Steven was living together, and I was like, we was roommates, and I was like, bro, I'm finna go. And after this lease up, it was probably like 4 months before the lease was up. And Steven was like, you not leaving me this time, nigga. So we flew down to Dallas, and then we went out, and we had a ball. It was
a blast.
It was like, yeah, this is where we gonna be. And we had already had like a lot of friends here too. So like, we had a ball, and then we moved like 2 months after that.
It's always so different, the stories.
But we was going to go to Charlotte, but Steven was like, I think we should go to Dallas.
So the thing about that is, the interesting thing about
thank God he said
us moving.
He ate with that.
Because I'll say this, which is so crazy.
And I went to Charlotte after. I've been in Charlotte since then.
Yeah.
It's nothing like
she didn't
Dallas.
like it as much as she did.
I love Dallas. I'm glad he suggested us to
but
come here.
the crazy thing about that is, to even rewind on the Dallas part, is the first time I heard about Dallas, I wasn't even interested in Dallas. But then, because that relationship that I was in, like, me and that ex, we had talked about moving, and then one of the cities that we had thought about was Dallas, but that was the city that, like, my ex really wanted. She was talking about Dallas. I didn't even think about Dallas. I wasn't even thinking about Dallas. I never said that. But I didn't even think about Dallas. And then I was like,
she probably feels some type of way. She probably.
Hey, at first she did, because she was like, damn. At first she was like, bro, at first she was like, damn, you went to Dallas anyway? I was like, I did. I said, that's the crazy part. I said,
Steven
I did.
has never told me about this.
I did because
he suggested Dallas, but I'm like, he said my friend, so it was your bitch.
What? Yeah, at the point, at the time.
He was like one of my friends. I thought it was a nigga.
You gotta spin it. You gotta spin it sometimes. You gotta spin it sometimes.
God,
so that was the only thing.
He knew not to tell me that shit.
Facts.
Because I would be like,
facts.
Cause I would be like, he know me so well. Because I'm like, because she want to. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
He's still going to fucking Charlotte.
See
Would have been in Charlotte.
See what I'm saying?
He knew what he was doing.
So, but then when I did more research, I said, damn, this is actually a cool city, but for a different reason, you know what I'm saying, because of work, you know what I'm saying, opportunities. Then I saw a lot of my friends down there, and a lot of my friends, like you said, a lot of our friends was like doing good. They was feeling good.
Oh, no. Yeah.
None of them, I was like, damn, like I normally see friends from other places post. I said, oh, none of my friends in Dallas post.
No, they don't never post.
And I realized why they didn't post, because what's the point?
They was living.
There's no point.
They down here living.
When you're in Dallas,
all our friends in Dallas is living.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. To post is a waste of time. You're wasting your time.
I like posting, but
no, I'm saying like
only because I was posted. A lot of times I was posting because my mama can see it, like and stuff like that.
No, I'm saying
but he's right. They wasn't posting.
They wasn't posting because they was living. But I say that because a lot of times it's so much living that you do down here that like you can do something similar in a different place and it still be just as fun, and you're not in the same place. And you could do that for 6 months and still not touch the same city that you was in the other time, or the same place that you was in the other time. Dallas. And it's like, damn, you feel what I'm saying? And I say it all the time. I say it'd take you probably a year to really, if you at least a year, if you really was trying to explore Dallas and all the different cities and all the different vibes and all the different
At
places,
least.
it would take you
I don't even think we
at least a
have.
year. No, we haven't, but I'm saying like,
And it's been like almost
but I'm saying you get comfortable with certain
You do.
places and you like certain places because they have vibe.
Yeah.
But there's other places that got the same vibe as somewhere else, and it's such a big city, and I think people kind of forget about that because people always mention Houston, and they forget about Dallas, and Dallas got the vibes.
That's
too.
one thing I can't stand about us moving to Dallas for our family. Always trying to say something about Houston. It's like we don't live in Houston, bro. We have no desire to live in Houston. Like Houston is
Dallas
just,
is. I mean, Houston is cool.
Houston is
Shout out
just
to my
somewhere
people that
we
live in
never
Houston.
would live.
Shout out to my people in Houston.
Yeah,
But I just prefer Dallas
yeah. The food's
personally.
food good in Houston, but the food good in
Yeah,
Dallas.
food is good.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I was another thing I think Steve wanted me to talk about this, but like
What?
so a lot of times when I move it's because of jobs. You know what I'm saying? While we've been in Dallas, a job called me, offered me some money to move to California, and I took the job. But I would say I transfer some stuff, but I wouldn't say I moved my whole life to California.
Right.
Because I was there for a couple months and I'm like, this ain't for me. And I'll say the reason why Cali, San Francisco Bay Area is not for me is because to me it's not a lot of like black spaces, mature black spaces. It's not as many, especially not as many as Dallas. So that's what I'm looking for, a mature black audience and somewhere you can have fun. And Dallas has so many different places like that. And I learned that the big reason that it's not a lot of the black community is not that big in California is because of the Great Migration and all that. You can go into that. But like during the when slaves got free, they migrated north and they migrated east. Like, they didn't migrate all the way to California. That was kind of far for people to move, you know what I'm saying, back then. So, a lot of people moved north, that's why Midwest is heavily black populated.
Right.
They stayed south, and then they went east. So, like, the Bay Area is more, like, diverse and for real diverse. Like, I'll say
It's
some
the
people...
coastal area, too. The coast,
yeah,
the
so
coast
like,
are more diverse, too. But that
like,
you got to think.
I'm
what's
looking
closer
for
to that
more
coast?
black
What's closer to
experience.
that coast as well?
What?
You got to think you got different.
Yeah, like the Asian communities.
Yeah, you got different stuff that's closer to that coast.
If you are an Asian person, it's a San Francisco, the Bay Area is like a diverse Asian community.
And think about
like, it's like when I say diverse Asian community, I'm saying it's Thai, it's Vietnamese, it's Hawaiian, it's Singaporean, it's it's a whole lot of different types of Asian people. I'm looking for a diverse black. So that's why I said that's why I'm back in Dallas, you know what I'm saying?
You resonate more with the Southern.
Yeah, and trying to find me a place and stuff like that and purchase here in Dallas. I'm not looking to do it there to me because it's not worth it. And then, of course, people be saying it's high, but if you got the money, who cares about it being high? But it's more so like I want to live and put roots into somewhere where I have a strong black community at, and that's not there. So I won't be there. But so I'll go there for work still. But majority of my time is spent in Dallas with my people, and I'm looking to purchase some probably like a townhouse or something this year in Dallas. So if it happens, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about the home buying process. Fuck around, bring Sherelle on here.
Oh, my mama,
Sister
real the realtor right there. What it is.
It is. Okay, so relationships. We talked about that. We both single.
Did we? I mean, yeah, we both single.
I've been single for like a year now.
I don't know. It's been a little minute for me.
Longer.
You know what I'm saying? Ever since I've been in Dallas and a little longer than that. So, with me, it's really about compliments. Really finding a complimentary piece, Yeah. I don't think it's really that hard. It's really just vibing out, right? You can waste a lot of time being distracted, right? That's why I don't get on the apps no more. In about 2024 expired the apps for me. I ain't getting on no more dating apps in my life. I'm too old for that shit. That wastes too much time. You hear me? If I'm trying to go get something, I go get something.
Same with me. I'm not going on the apps anymore.
Nah, it's too many people out here for me to be wasting my time trying to put on. I'm like, bro, if you really want to be, what the dating app is. If you really trying to get on the dating app, fucking Instagram. Go to your motherfucking Instagram if you really want to be on the dating app. That's the motherfucking best
I
dating app
can't
out
stand.
there.
You know.
Shit, that's a dating app. If you want a dating app, you ain't gotta swipe shit. She already your friend. Shoot a shot. If she don't like you, then keep it moving, my boy.
Yeah. I'll say like relationship wise for me, I'm single. Like I said, I've been single for a year. I'll say that a lot of this last year, me being single, I've been wanting to focus on getting myself together, figuring out what's going on with me, what's wrong, how am I going to be successful in a relationship? What are my triggers, stuff like that? How to love, what love means, how much love means in general, and how bringing love in can just help the situation in general, and like being a more loving person, and you know what I'm saying, being a more happier person and nicer person and stuff like that. um I still don't take no shit like in relationships. I don't play no motherfucking games with these niggas for real. Okay, not for the fake. Like I'll put my foot down, but I'll say more so coming from a more loving place, you know, a more affectionate place, and figuring out if I'm not that affectionate, why not? Like figuring out why and figuring out how to make myself better so that I can put my best foot forward. In my next relationship, I feel like a lot of people be like, oh, this person hurt me, so I ain't gonna never fuck with niggas no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't gonna never, like, I'm a real giving person. My brother know. Like I did a lot for my last relationship. I did a lot for relationship. I do a lot, period. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not, just because a motherfucker like it didn't work with that person and they didn't, to me, appreciate it the way I would want them to. That don't mean I'm gonna stop being a person that's a giving person in my relationships. I'm still gonna be that person. I'm still like, I'm a giving person in a relationship. I'm a caring person. I love hard. I'm here for you. I'm 10 toes down. If we together, a lot of times my family be like, you know what I'm saying, you treat this thing like that's your husband or something. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at my relationship. A lot of my relationships, it be husband, married, white type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just me and you to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I look at it a little bit more serious than a normal person, and I vet a little bit longer. So yeah. What about you, Steve? Why do you think you're single, Steven?
Why do I think I'm single?
I'm going into a lot of shit right
Why
now.
do I think I'm single? Why I know I'm single just because I don't tolerate as much. So I'm single by preference only. Because it ain't like it's some stuff out there, but it's like, what are you willing to tolerate? What are you not willing to tolerate, right? And I feel like me being who I am, knowing what I want, if it's not that, then what's the point of wasting time? Right? I feel like you can be friends, you can mingle and things of that nature. And if she don't pick up what you putting down, like, that's cool. Somebody else might be whispering to her in a better way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, whatever's genuine, it's gonna rotate, because it ain't that many genuine people around here.
Facts.
And my whole life, I know things have been rotating back to me. You know what I'm saying? What's that little thing that people throw when it come back, a boomerang? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be a boomerang when it come around to me, because it ain't as many genuine motherfuckers. So I know a motherfucker come around if
Steven's exes do
you
be
know.
trying to linger, and he don't even be fuck with them.
It ain't that I do or I
They
don't.
still be around because
It ain't that I do or I don't, but it's just like a boomerang. You know what I'm saying? It come back around when it's real. So it's just
they
a
know
thing.
he ain't finna budge. But you know, I feel like sometimes they just be around so they can, like, I'll say, like, just social media wise, like, some of them are still friends with my mom or me or something like that. Like, I feel like women be knowing how good Steven is sometimes, and they be Steven just don't be going back though. You don't be really going back another time.
It ain't that I will or I won't. It's just sometimes like they'll know, like, okay, this guy. Let me see. Let me check his temperature sometimes. So sometimes they want to check your temperature and see if you still moving and grooving, or if you got something. They'll say something crazy to you, like, hey, XYZ. You like, girl, you know better. You know, if I
Is
was
that how you
if I
mean?
was on something, you would know something. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It would be obvious if I was on something. But sometimes they come back around and be like, what the business is? You like, you just trying to crack a joke and get my ear real quick. So, they get my ear, I'll listen, but if they ain't talking about nothing, we ain't going nowhere with it.
Yeah.
So that's just the simplicity of the matter.
Right. And I say me relationships, I ain't never like when we was little kids.
Man, hold on.
What?
This one right here.
When we was little
When
kids.
she trying to talk about exes, this motherfucker be
He
having
about to put me out
motherfuckers
there,
on.
yeah.
She have motherfuckers on a non-expiring contract.
Nah. Okay, so I'll say nah. I'll say that's one of the reasons why I wanted to move as well from that, because that will, if you live in the same city that you've been living in your whole life, you're gonna be fucking with the same people you've been fucking with your whole life. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna never end. You know what I'm saying? And
She was
when I
Neptunian.
remove myself from that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't like I especially like in the last year I've noticed that about myself. I mean I know that about myself, that I will double back because I vet my exes and they be my friends before they my niggas.
Okay, that's the thing too that I failed to mention is that I do be friends with the females too.
I don't think you be friends with your.
I do.
I feel like a lot of your bitches you be like relationships,
but we be friends before.
Y'all like spending time together,
right? I like spending time with my female friends.
But I just feel like when Steven, okay, I feel what you're saying, but okay, because I was like, okay, I wouldn't say like y'all like.
You see what I'm saying? You gotta think.
Like I go straight into
you gotta think about your friends.
Like with yours,
we don't though.
Your exes don't.
It seemed like that.
All right, because that's when you bring them around.
Facts.
Ooh, okay.
Facts.
Okay.
In fact, we be friends for months.
I will say
we be friends for like damn near years.
When me and Steven live together, we don't get in each other's business. So if he was bringing the bitch over, I wouldn't even know.
Well,
he might know
I'll say this.
I'll be tripping. When I trip and fall, like,
I'll say this.
It's like black glass break.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that.
But with
I ain't gonna say
Steven,
that.
he can be a little sneaky.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that.
Sneaky.
I ain't gonna say that. I'll say we had the unknowns and we had the knowns. Back when we lived with each other, we had the unknowns and we had the knowns, right? See, I think that's the reason why everybody be saying you can live with your sibling and that's a woman. Yes, I can live with my sibling. That's a woman because I trust that she'll make decisions and I don't have to watch every move that she make. And so and vice versa, right? Because a lot of times we used to be with each other and you be like, I got something coming over and I'll be like, okay, I got something coming over. But if we say we got something coming over and then it's like the other one could feel it. Like the other one could feel.
No, it's not. It's not the other one can feel it, y'all. This is how me and Steven know. Me and Steven been. We are siblings for real. We grew up in the same house together. This is even with my mama. Like everybody knows if somebody got some hoes coming over, they start cleaning up. There ain't no feeling. Shit just start getting.
No, I'm saying
we just both start cleaning up.
No, but I'm saying when you have certain
like this nigga start fluffing the pillows and shit.
But I'm saying she had some of them people that she had coming over be just little chill moments.
Yeah, like, little friend.
Because if it be a little chill little friend moment, we both.
With you too?
No, I'm saying we both would duck off. If it's a little chill little friend moment, we both would duck off. We'd go to the room.
I can't even imagine with some of the women that. I'm sorry, I ain't mean some of the women, but women that I've seen you bring to the crib, what they look. I don't even know. I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying because
I probably met them, but I have no idea what the fuck they look like.
But the thing is, like when we chill,
who they are.
Sometimes we chill, but like as long as like nothing don't go outside of the normal, you know what I'm saying? If it go outside the normal, then we both like, okay, we on alert. But if it ain't outside the normal, we both just chilling in our own zone, giving each other space. And I think that a lot of like male and female like roommates, like when it comes to siblings, they don't be on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So a lot of people be like, how can you live with your sister? How can you live with your brother? We really be giving each other space.
We do not like. I think it's more
when we
so
live with each other. We just like.
I think it's more so too like Steven. We and him are 2 years apart, and we 2 grades apart. So like when we was in school at the same time, but when I see him, we shaking up in the hallway and we gonna go our separate ways. We never merged our schools personas together.
We did, which is crazy.
But people knew we were siblings.
Nah, only people that knew us. if they didn't know us,
if you didn't ride our bus,
if you didn't ride our bus, you didn't know for sure.
But we used to shake up when we saw each other though.
People didn't know for the longest, bro. They were siblings, bro. Because they're like, oh yeah, that's your sister. Oh, that's your brother. You like
I was like in school. We the same type of niggas in school too. Like
to our class. We the same type of person to our class.
Like we was friends with everybody in our class. It's like, or like we was friends with. Well, I'll say Steven was
everybody in our class.
Steven was friends. No. I'll say Steven was friends with everybody in his class. I was selective with the friends I had, but I was friends with somebody from every group though. I was cool with everybody, with somebody from every group in my class.
You know,
my class had cliques, and I was friends with somebody from every single clique for sure.
That's you.
Yeah,
and that's me.
And I'm selective about who I want to be. I was probably like whoever I looked at as like a leader or somebody who wasn't like everybody else, that's who I wanted to be cool with. I ain't want to be, because a lot of motherfuckers at school was trying to be like everybody else, and I was like, y'all lame, that's lame to me. So I was like, I don't want to be friends with you. I want to be friends with people who themselves 100%. And those are the people that I was close with in school. But like I said, just going back to the point, me and Steven in school used to go to the same school. We just had different lives. So that's exactly how we are when we live together. Yeah, we live together, but we got different lives. Like it's sometimes we don't even recognize each other as there. And we always make sure we got our own bathroom. We don't even like, to the point where Steven had, like, in our last apartment we lived in together, his own like entrance to the balcony. Like he got his own place over there. Then I have my own place on the other side.
I love vibe for sure.
And then when we want to come together, we come together.
The middle's where we met up.
And then I'll say when we was younger, my mom, it was me and Steven for the longest. So like we had a mixture of girls and boy cousins. So like everybody could come over our house, because there was area for the girls, Steven for the boys. So everybody used to just come over our house. So that's still how it was, and when we was in Indianapolis. And now, like, even with our friends, we all cool with each other's friends and everything. So like friends could come stay with us. So it's always cool. So
for sure.
And we stay out of each other's business. Like if these niggas want to have bitches over that night, it's like motherfucker ain't gotta be like, I don't even have to tell him like don't have bitches over, or Aerial. Like I will find me a nigga house to go over that night if I don't feel like hearing that shit. Or I know Steven been in the crib with the bitches for 2-3 hours. They probably in his room at this point. And when I get there, they in the room.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't even see them.
At that point, yeah.
Or,
we know,
like...
we kind of know the flow.
Even when we go out of town, we get Airbnbs. If somebody brings something back to the crib, it ain't weird. Like, hey, what's up? We're going back into our room. And if you want to have the space to yourself, like, we 2-player now. Yeah. We just 2-player with it.
Yeah. I think everybody just don't be on that type of time. So that's the reason why.
Yeah.
You know, we made it work.
But yeah, so the next things that we see for our podcast is being consistent. Please expect
more
consistency.
More merch, man. SawCast.com/shop.
More good topics. More people coming on and getting interviewed that are beneficial to our community.
Yeah, for sure.
Dialogue.
I will say that one thing about that she's saying, man, is it just kind of made me get back out of my shell, because I kind of like focused and was kind of like disciplined and kind of like just was like chilling for a minute. But like at the same time, one thing that I'm real good at is like networking. And like socializing, right? Socializing is a part of my network, and like I come to the least common denominator with a lot of folks, and it don't matter who they are. I can always come to the least common denominator with somebody, and we can always have a conversation. So it just made me realize how powerful that is, right? And how much of a skill that is. So it just back to perfecting my craft in that manner and using all the avenues that I have to perfect my craft in that way.
Yeah, but what's next for me is more so I'm doing everything I can to hoard money at this point. I want to get to a place in the next year or two where I don't have to work no more. I could just live off my investments. I want to purchase which is crazy because I'm saying I want to purchase a townhouse this year, but I want to purchase a townhouse because I'm not planning my future with kids or nothing like that. But I mean, if that happens, I'll have room for that. But I'm more so planning on trying to headquarter myself and set up roots in Dallas. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Like I said, I'm saving all the money that I can, whilst also traveling and having a good time, but in moderation. And like I said, making sure that the three businesses that I own are doing what they're supposed to do. Actions by Aerials, where I make things, do things for people. SawCast is me and Steven. We co-own that. Actions by Aerials strictly owned by me. Star Black is, I founded Star Black, but Steven's the co-founder and vice president of Star Black. And that is science, technology, arithmetic, and reading nonprofit for Black kids that we're trying to promote in Indianapolis. 90% of the Black kids in Indianapolis public schools do not pass both parts of the standardized testing, and we want to change that. We want to show Black kids how important engineering, science, nursing, IT is, and show them different ways that they can make money, because those careers statistically take Black people from poverty to middle class faster than anything else. So we want to make sure we promote that. But in order for you to get there, you got to pass the test. You gotta do what you can do, and only a small percentage of Black people in Indianapolis pass those tests and are doing it. Even though you see a lot of nurses, on the grand scheme of everybody that's in Indianapolis, is not that many. So people that's really getting money. So we want to make sure to change that in our community. And we have a board members, like 9 of us, who we all lived in the hood. We all have degrees now. We all work in some type of STEM environment, so we can help the kids and stuff like that. So that's something that we're pushing. We put in our application for our 501c3. Now we waiting on to get that back so that we can go forward with that and help our community. But like I said, I'm trying to push towards financial freedom and be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do. Even though I kind of do that already, but I don't want to work and do that. I want to. right. I want my job to be helping others. So.
Yeah. So she finna. She didn't put in the work and she didn't grind in enough to where now she's
I'm at a
giving herself the time.
Yeah, I'll say work wise
American dream.
I'll say in work wise, that's not the typical.
No. I'll say that's what the real American dream is now. Yeah. See, it used to be 40 acres and a mule. I want a house and a car and all of that.
I mean, people still want families, a husband, wife.
They do. No, I'm saying they do, but I'm saying now it's that time. If you can buy your time back from the sacrifices and the discipline and the hustle and the grind and the time that you put in to better yourself and better your circumstances, then you give yourself time to think about what you really want to do in life. And I want to say I give you flowers and your kudos for doing that, because you've been on that grind. It's been about
I've been grinding
4, 6, 7, 10, I don't know, let's just say since college. So 10, 12 years that she's been on a consistent grind. That's why
I've been grinding since I was 16 when I started working.
Okay, she want to go back even further.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying she want to go back even further. 16. What is that 16?
Don't even try to do the math. Chill, bro.
15 years.
Oh,
so
Lord.
15 years. So it's been 15 years that she's been on the grind. I'm just saying, like, hard work pays off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I say in my career right now,
it takes to invest. So she invested.
No,
hold on, real quick.
I ain't been investing.
No,
real
quick.
You
ain't let me finish.
Hurry up, get it out.
Skirt. She been investing herself for 15 years. So she invested herself for 15 years. She been grinding for 15 years, and it's paying off. And she's motivating people, and this shows other women out there what you can do when you just stick to the grind. Yeah,
I'll say that in my job right now, I am an IT analyst, and one thing I put on my vision board probably 7 years ago was that I wanted to be a top analyst or a top person in my career, and I am. Clearly. I'm sought after.
Clearly, they fucking flew you to another state.
I am sought after. I'm a good analyst. Thank God, I don't be having issues finding jobs, things like that. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I make I make more than probably like 90% of the analysts in the country, probably most of them. So like at the end of the day, like I'm doing really well for myself, and like Steven said, it was a consistent grind. Like this shit was not easy.
It didn't happen overnight.
I'm the person, like you said, I tell women that they can do it. Like it's me and my best friend. like this is from beginning, like in our relationship before she even believed in this shit. Cause my best friend is a smart ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't always believe that sometimes she believed that no would stop us or halt us. She was like, well, motherfucker said no. I've always told her that don't mean shit. And once my best friend changed her mindset, me and her do whatever the fuck we want. When I say we really out here doing what we want to do, because y'all do not let nobody tell you. Do not let nobody tell you that no is no. A no ain't no motherfucking no. A no means they don't think that you're ready for that yes. But as long as you can go back and be like, why you think I ain't ready for the yes? And then they gonna be like, this is why. And then that's when you gonna get the yes. You be like, oh, I am ready because I can show you this, and this. They be like, oh, well then you are ready to get a yes.
She Dennis to be. She got a following though. Learning Smiles, ain't it?
Yep.
Learning Smiles,
go
man.
Follow
go
my
look
best
her
friend
up, man. On TikTok, man.
She probably a doctor.
I'm saying, a doctor.
Soon as she found out,
you know what I'm saying?
Soon as she stopped
Shout
thinking that no was a no. But we had to go through a lot of things together so she could see that, and she saw that. She took off. She's going to the moon.
Yeah, she's in a different stratosphere with it. Shout out to her, man.
And I got and I got
she at Howard.
You know, we got a team full of
Howard with it, ain't she?
Yeah, I got a team full of women. All my friends who got masters. I got mine first, and then everybody got theirs. I think my friend Tanu, we both was talking about it. She ended up going first, but Tanu's financially well off than I am, so she can she left her job and went to school for free. You know what I'm saying? Her parents paid for that shit. I didn't have that luxury. I had to figure out how I was gonna get it to go. And then when I figured out how to get the money to go, then I went and got mine. But like 3-4 of my friends around me got masters, doctors, all that shit. And a lot of us don't have no kids, like successful, beautiful. So yeah. Great, strong women around me. I love my friends. I'm a person who love their friends, love their community, love my family. Period. And that's what you're going to see with the SawCast.
For sure. That's
shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for listening.
We appreciate the support, man. Go follow, go like, go subscribe, go share, man. We appreciate everything. We do. But what I do want is a little more interaction, so I'm going to start, posting a little bit more interactive things on our Instagram and things of that nature, because at the same time, we want to interact with the people. And when I see y'all and I see the people that's tapping in and everybody that's tapping in and supporting, I'm going to hit your line. I'm going to tap your line.
Shout out to y'all. Buy some merch.
SawCast.com /shop.
SawCast.com.
All right. /shop.
And that's SawCast.
That's the SawCast.
Bye.